Herzlich willkommen bei Brave Hearts, der Sendung für alle Menschen, die mutigen Herzens sind. Wieso sitze ich jetzt schon wieder am Computer und bin nicht draußen bei meinen Gästen? Die Erklärung ist ganz einfach. Mein heutiger Gast wohnt so weit weg, dass ich mit meinem Bus da einfach nicht hinfahren kann. Ich begrüße heute ganz herzlich meinen Trainer und Coach aus Kanada, Raymond Riopel.
Hi, Robert. So glad to have you on our show, on the Brave Hearts show, and to start with such an amazing guest to the new year 2022.
Well, thank you. I am feeling so blessed to be here because I'm excited and ready to have a little bit of fun with you and your audience, and maybe even give them some helpful information, because 2022, let's make it epic.
Yes, please. We need that. Let's make it epic. So I know you from several masterminds, and I did some courses with you. But would you please tell our audience who you are and what got you there? Because you've not always been a coach, right?
Very true. Well, as you said, my name is Robert Raymond Riopel. I am an international best-selling author and app designer. I am a serial entrepreneur. And the thing that I love to do the most is I have been blessed to travel around the world doing live trainings for people. That is my absolute passion. And you're right, I didn't always start here. I come from Canada, where I live right now. And when I was raised, I was taught, here's the box. Don't think outside the box. Don't question the box. That's the box. You stay within it. And when it came to work as an example, I was taught that when you go to work, you do whatever you need to do to support your family, whether you like the job or not. And that's exactly what I did. By the time I'm 21, though, I'm being laid off from the third job I'd been working for. And I'm like, I'm working hard. I'm staying loyal. Why is it I keep getting laid off? And it taught me a great lesson, because at that time, which was in 1989, and Romana, do not do the math on how old I am, okay? When I got laid off from that third job, I'm looking back and I'm going, it's tough times. We're in the middle of a downturn in the economy. I'm looking for a real job, but I can't find one. And because I am a newlywed, I decided to do something until I find a real job. And I start delivering pizzas for a little company called Domino's Pizza. Because of my work ethic, I end up becoming a manager. My wife becomes my assistant, and we start working hard again. Open to close, 7 days a week, because we know how to work hard. And we're doing this for about a year and a half when all of a sudden that fear comes in. Because my franchisee announces that, guess what? I'm getting out of Domino's Pizza. I'm selling the stores. And we had watched enough stores be sold around us. We knew that the moment new owners came in, they replaced the managers because they want to bring their own team in. I went into fear mode because I'm thinking, here we go again. We're about to be laid off, but now it's me and my wife about to lose our income. What are we going to do? Oh, I know. Here's the answer. We'll start talking to all the other franchisees in the city, see who needs new managers. And my wife looks at me and she goes, why would we do that? We're qualified to be franchisees. Why don't we just buy the store? And I looked at her. I'm like, because we don't have any money. That's why we don't buy the store. Like, hello. And I was taught to be that in-the-box thinker, Ramona. But my wife, being the youngest of 5 children, raised by a single mother, she was taught, you figure it out. Don't let things just stop you. And because of her tenacity and her curiosity and knowledge that, or just drive that we'll figure it out, we started learning, how do you buy a business if you have no money? And I'll tell you, we made a lot of mistakes. But I don't think of them as mistakes because we learned something from every time that something didn't go right. And we learned what to say differently. what to do differently. And it took about 4 months before we had the confidence that we now knew what to say and how to say it and had the confidence to do it, that we were actually able to talk to our own bank. And we didn't get the financing for our store. We actually got 100% financing for both the stores my franchisee had for sale. And we became franchisees, and it was like, oh, we're successful now. And I know you know the difference, Romana, that we knew how to run a Domino's pizza, but we didn't know how to run a business. And that's two totally different things. And for the first couple of years, we struggled. We should not have been able to make it, but we were too tenacious to quit. And when we finally figured it out and we started making some pretty good money, both coming from poor families, we started, oh, we're successful. We should have this. We should have that. And we started spending more money than we were earning. And by the time we were franchisees for 8 years, we're now over $150,000 in debt personally and going down quickly. And that's when we were introduced to personal development, which changed our life because of an amazing 3-day training that we went to that you've experienced as well. We learned why we were in debt, but more importantly, we learned to take ownership. Quit blaming other people for our debt. And I was really good at that. Like they lost my investment, or because of them, we lost money. And the moment we took ownership, then the third lesson was able to help us, which is we learned specific steps to get out of debt. And using that information and taking action, that was kind of the key. We actually did something with the information. We were able to go from being over $150,000 in personal debt to actually completely retired, financially free 9 months later at the age of 32. And our minds went, yeah, wow, that worked. And if we could do this with that information, what could we do with more? And we became avid students and started learning. And that's when I found my passion, which was to teach others. And here's how the whole dream started for me. I believed if I could help even one person, it didn't start with this huge, grandiose vision. It was if I could help one person do what my wife and I had been able to accomplish, go from financial stress to financial freedom, it would make it all worthwhile. And now for the past 20 years, I've been blessed to personally teach over 500,000 students around the world and having a blast. So that's kind of the long, short version of the journey.
And that's a real wow journey, I think. So what I heard is that there were several points in your life where you really had to take action. And my question is, does one have to be brave to do so?
I use the word courageous because, and there's probably a subtle difference between the two. I just love the word courageous because I believe we all have courage in us. And brave to me is different because courage, you can take courage even if you are scared out of your wits. Even if you're confident, you can still have to have courage. And brave, to me, that's when someone's backed in a corner. They do something because they feel they have to. They have no other choice. But courage allows them to have that day-to-day choice.
I completely get you. Wow. And that brings me to my next question, because many of our audience, many people in our audience, they are kind of a crossroad. They want to change their life. They think what you thought. Is it really necessary? Or am I made to work 9 to 5, 7 days a week or 6 days a week? Is this really my life? So what would you give them as a kind of tip if you want to change your life? Okay, be courageous, take action. What else does it take? What's important if one feels, I'm not on the right place yet?
Yeah, well, be willing to make mistakes. And again, to me nowadays, there's no such thing as failure, because every time you do something, you get feedback. And so failure is just feedback of something that didn't work for you. The only time it becomes a failure is if you quit. So never quit. Keep taking one more step in the direction you want to go. And, laying it out in my book, Success Left a Clue, I talk about 6 steps. And so if someone's really at that crossroads, step number 1 is to start dreaming big again. Don't try to figure out how am I going to do it? How will it work? When will it happen? How long will it take? How much efforts it can take? Just allow yourself to take that deep breath in, come back to a present moment and ask yourself, what would be an amazing life for me? And start designing that in your mind. But then take those dreams and put them on a vision board. Put them on, write down a list of goals. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Just start with the dreams. Just start, what would be amazing? What would I love? In my mental life, my emotional life, my spiritual life, my physical life, and my financial. Cover all areas. What would be an amazing life? And then find a mentor or someone to model from, which is the second step. Quit trying to do it on your own. Ramona, that's what I've experienced is why most people struggle. Is their mind tells them, I've got to figure it out. I've got to do it or it's not successful. Or if I ask for help, I'm weak. Stop that. Stop it. And so while you're looking for a mentor or someone to model from, also at the same time be asking yourself, who can I be a mentor for? Who could I be a model for? Well, Robert, I don't have success yet. I can't mentor for people. Absolutely. There's something you've done in your life, maybe a hard time you've got through, that you could help someone else that maybe is going through it. So that kind of means be more gentle with yourself. Quit being so hard. And I know so many people and a German culture, hard on yourselves. It's like, boom, that's weakness, or boom, you did that wrong. You got to do it perfect. And we learn to put so much pressure on ourselves. No wonder we get frustrated. So find that mentor, someone to model from, but also be a mentor for someone else, because that will help you by sharing your gifts. You'll get it on a deeper level. And then take that action. One step in the right direction. I love the quote. One step in the right direction is worth 1,000 years of thinking about it. And as you take your action, celebrate. That's step number 4. Celebrate your success. This is the step probably, Ramona, that most people miss. Is they're like, oh, that was no big deal. Those words will kill your momentum. No big deal. You don't have to celebrate huge for everything, but it might be a great job or yes, something to anchor it in. And then that is going to allow you to have step number 5, which is more belief in yourself. From traveling around the world, probably the biggest thing I've noticed that is a holdback for people is low self-esteem. We just don't believe in ourselves. And I'm not talking about ego. Well, Robert, that's ego. I'm talking about confidence, not arrogance. Learn to believe in yourself because you are amazing. And step number 6, just repeat the first 5 steps. Just start dreaming big again. And I'm going to say it like this too. Do not let the simplicity of those 6 steps I just went through, do not let the simplicity fool you, because that's one of the things that takes a lot of people out. It can't be that easy. I could have made it sound complicated. I could have given you all the science and the neuroscience and the quantum physics behind why it works. But if I did that, you'd be like glazed over look, like, I don't get it. So I'm going to purposely keep it simple. So don't let the simplicity fool you.
Now, that's so amazing. I just wanted to ask you if you want to give our audience a gold nugget, but you've given that gold nugget already. That's so wonderful. May I share the link to your book in the comments afterwards? I share it so people can take a look at your book. That's wonderful.
Well, yeah, and because you were so gracious to have me on your show, what I was going to say is, if they just go to robertriopel.com, they can actually download the entire digital copy of that book as our gift to them. Because I believe, our time is one of our most precious commodities. And not only did you take your valuable time to interview me, but your audience has taken their valuable time to listen. So I would absolutely love for them to do that. But of course, Ramona, because it comes with a caveat. I did not write this book for people to read this book, put it on the shelf, and make it shelf help. That's not why I wrote it. Because step number 3, as we said, you have to take action. So the caveat is I wrote it as a workbook. There's action steps all the way through. And I even say in it, Did you do the last action? If not, stop reading right now. Go back and do that action first before you read more, because I know people are creatures of habit. So I would love for them to download the entire digital copy, but I want them to read it and actually do the action steps. Because if they do, I guarantee their life will go to another level.
And that's one thing that I had this experience with working with you. And yeah, it's true. You get to another level. So I'm the living example for it. Robert, are there some upcoming events, courses people might join? Because you're doing loads of things online now, that traveling is still a bit complicated.
Yeah, traveling is just a little bit
Just a
complicated.
little bit.
Yeah, just by downloading the book, and you'll actually be able to find out about all the events I'm doing in real time, because as we come up with more events, we end up posting them and do a mail out to everybody. But people can also follow me on my social media to be able to see what events are coming up as well, whether it's Facebook or what did my assistant say I'm on? I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and LinkedIn. Yes, that's what she told me.
I will share this, and people out there, please, our audience listener, if you're interested in all that wonderful things Robert just told us, then get connected on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and get that book. It's really wonderful. Robert, time is like a rocket when talking with you. Is there something special you want to tell our audience for this upcoming year? It's January now. Is there something, it's going to be epic? That's what we heard already. We make it epic.
Yes.
Is there something else what you want to give us?
Yeah, I believe, Romana, that the greatest gift that anybody can give this planet is to be themselves in their authentic way. And so especially for this year, I'm going to encourage people to courageously be you. Because when you're you and you show up for who you are, whatever that looks like, that means even when you're having a bad day, be present in whatever that energy is. And people are either going to like you for who you are or they're not. And if they like you for who you are, that's awesome. If they don't like you for who you are, that's awesome. Because how much time, and I can only come from experience on this, how much time, energy, money I've wasted in my life trying to please other people by being someone I'm not. Thinking that if I do this, they'll make them happy. Or if I act this way, they'll like me better. And all that time and energy I was wasting on that, the people who love me for who I am, I was not giving them space to really connect with me. So if you really want to make 2022 an epic year, be authentic, be you, and don't worry about whether people can handle you or not, because that has nothing to do with you. That's none of your business whether they can handle you or not. The world is waiting for you to show up in all your amazingness.
Robert, thank you for this. Thank you so much. Yeah, people out there, I think there is nothing else to say, not more to say than be you and stick to it, be courageous, get out there and make this wonderful year an epic year. Thank you, Robert, for being on our Brave Hearts show. It was an honor for me, and see you soon.
Ja, das war sie, die inspirierende erste Brave Hearts Sendung des Jahres 2022. Ich hoffe, ihr wart voll mit dabei. Lasst euch inspirieren. Und wenn euch diese Sendung gefallen hat, dann gebt den Link weiter, ladet Menschen zu unserer Gruppe ein, abonniert den YouTube-Channel, seid mit dabei und tragt die inspirierenden Botschaften mit uns zusammen raus in die Welt. Ich bedanke mich heute noch einmal ganz speziell bei Sonja Schweighofer hinter der Kamera und wir sehen uns dann zur nächsten Sendung am ersten Freitag im Februar, wie immer um 19 Uhr hier auf diesem Kanal.